Degloirespace signing in. When to be vulnerable and why it's important to be vulnerable. Look, we're all looking for love. Every one of us, doesn't matter what you're doing. Love, connection, we're all looking for it somehow. Whether through friends, through family, partners, colleagues, even with a pet. We're looking to be connected. It's a basic human thing. However, things have gotten a little bit more complex in society. For example, all of us will have at least one experience of being hurt by a friend, by a partner, by a family member. And then on top of that, we see news everywhere. You know, someone went through a divorce and they lost their money. Someone, went through a breakup and now they're a single mom with 3 kids and the dad doesn't even come around. We see all these things and it makes you think so much. Should I even open myself up? Is it even smart to open yourself up? So you approach a new situation, a new person. When you approach them, you're either very, very closed and you don't let yourself flow. You want to protect everything you say. And then you come off as somebody who you're not really open. You're not putting a connection in. It's very hard to connect with you. You can't even connect with anybody else. So the other person might somehow tell you, I need you to be vulnerable with me. Now, of course, the word vulnerability, I'm not big on it, but it's the word that we use. So I'm not going to get caught up on the language. What is vulnerability? And how is it different from being needy? Because that's the fine point. A lot of people think being vulnerable means sitting in front of someone and complaining and telling them, everything's unfair to me and all this. And then, that makes the other person hate you more or distance themselves, not hate you, but distance themselves more. So here you're like, hey, I was vulnerable, and it made people leave, made people, distance themselves from me. So where did I go wrong? And so here we need to address, what does it really mean to be vulnerable? Vulnerability is you stating what you're going through. It's basically expressing your state. It's not complaining, it's not looking for a savior. You don't tell someone your issues because you want them to solve it. You don't tell someone, look, this is what I'm going through, what do you offer? They become like your parent, where you're calling them every 5 seconds and you explode their phone. And then here you're like, oh, I'm just being vulnerable. And that's not vulnerable. That's actually being quite a heavy person. And no one likes that. Someone could take it from you if they're really close for a day. 2 days becomes, whoa, it's very overwhelming. So vulnerability is just stating, this is what I'm going through. I want you to understand me. You are doing it for the sake of the connection. You are letting this person know, I'm struggling with something and I need you to understand this, so that our connection, if it can survive through this, if it can go through this is the key point of vulnerability. It's nothing about you complaining. You understand you're going through whatever you're going through, and you know that it's affecting this relationship, this friendship, this partnership, this family. It's affecting. So you say, look, I'm going through something like this. And it's very important that you do. Even for your own mind, it's important. So many people struggle with things and they never let anyone know. And that's not a good thing. Letting people know, look, if somebody can help, they can. But if they can't help, at least you're just being, look, this is what's going on. Don't be offended if I'm not appearing as much, if I'm not showing up as much. This is what I'm going through. And you know what? If they are worthy people in your life, they will understand. And this can build a connection deeper. Whereas neediness, that's a different story. When you're needy, that's like you're just throwing weight on somebody else, looking for somebody else to save you, somebody to fix my problems. The basic difference between being vulnerable and needy is that one comes out of fear. That's neediness, of course. In neediness, you're so scared that you might be losing connection with this person. You'll overtext them. You're so scared about losing connection that you start oversharing stuff. Oversharing, but the point of your oversharing is that you're just trying to, make excuses for yourself. You're not actually being vulnerable. You're just trying to say, how could you leave me? And neediness generally turns into emotional blackmail. Whereas being vulnerable, no. Being vulnerable, you have your integrity. Look, I'm going through this at the moment and I feel unable to move. I need to give this more energy. And then here, you know what, even if you have to move away, if the other person says, look, sure, but I can't take it. When you're vulnerable, you don't mind. If they move away, they move away. Yeah, it can bring a bit of extra hurt, but at least you've kept your integrity. Nobody respects a needy person. Vulnerable, that's different. Actually, vulnerability is one of the most beautiful things. How often do you see somebody, you know, like a world champion of some sort, and they go through their fight, and then they just, after the fight, or, you know, after their sport, they reveal something about them that they were going through. It's such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful moment, and we all look at it like they are not looking for excuses. They're opening themselves up to others because they're human. What to do before you open yourself up to somebody? Make sure you're anchored well. For example, have self-talk in yourself. Ask yourself, am I going to open up to her or to him because I'm feeling scared that they might leave me? Or am I opening up because I need them to understand so that we can connect more? Which one is it? If it's the first one, which is fear, most likely things are going to break. Most likely you're not going to last through it, and you're going to come off as real needy. Whereas if it comes up from, look, you need to understand what I'm going through because it's affecting you too, that's different. That comes out of strength, that comes out of growth, comes out of maturity. And this is the key point. The key point of moving on in life is maturity. The key point of opening yourself to somebody new is maturity. Because it's not going to be easy. We all hold traumas from our past. And the way to move forward is not to deny those things. The way to move forward is to be honest without oversharing. And definitely not trying to gain attention. Degloirespace, signing out.